Welcome back. At the end of the previous part, we were left with a choice. Do we request the verdict, which would make us win? Or do we continue to stall for time and request the trial continue? If we request the verdict, it does mean Miss Andrews will probably be found guilty of murder, most likely for a murder she didn't commit, or even get an assassin for. There's still that little maybe in my head as to maybe that's actually what's going on. Maybe, and like someone pointed out, there was actually a third option of maybe the killer had 2 clients. That was mentioned down in the comments as well. It's like, that's possible as well. But I think for Phoenix's conscience, just this simple idea of like, he cannot, it is pursuit of justice. And this would not be justice. It just wouldn't be justice, so we're gonna request the trial continue. Phoenix, I can't do it, Mia. I can't accept a not guilty. You're a lawyer. I know. But Madame Guard is a killer, a murderer. I can't let him get away with this. I can't let someone else take the fall. If I let Miss Andrews be convicted, then I'm no better than on guard. Yeah. And even though I don't want to admit it, I have to face the fact that it is because of Edgeworth that I know now the real truth. He could have gotten on guard convicted so many times over, but he never took a single one of those chances. If I take this verdict right now, I'd be betraying his trust. His trust? Never thought about it until now. I trust him? Oh, no. It can't be true. Yes, you do. Mr. Wright, your opinion, please. The defense requests that we be allowed to further question Mr. DeKiller. Am I hearing you correctly, Mr. Wright? Right. But that witness has cleared your client through his testimony. Your job here is done. I'm not done yet. To see through witnesses' lies and find the truth. That is my job, Your Honor. There's still more evidence to look at. And I'm sure that once those pieces arrive here in this very courtroom, a miracle will occur. Very well. The trial will continue. Mr. Edgeworth, please re-establish connection with Mr. DeKiller. Right away, Your Honor. Oh my. Has a verdict been reached? For that, we'd like to talk with you a little more. It was also pointed out down in the comments, it's like that the radio transmitter does actually look like the killer as well. It's like, oh yeah, it does. Could shout. About. All you needed from me was the name of my client. What else could you need me for? Well, actually, we would like to hear everything you know about this case. That is how things are usually done. What is he talking about, usually done? But what shall we have him testify about now? Mr. DeKiller, if you don't mind, please testify about your client in more detail. You legal people and your procedures. Is it any wonder no one likes to go to court? About my client, part 2, the return. As I have already stated quite a few times, Adrian Andrews is my client. I feel like I should press on that one. However, one thing I simply cannot overlook is tampering with the scene of the crime. Probably that one as well. My client did it to frame another for the crime. That's true. Well, assuming his client is Andrews, you know. While pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene, Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Yuan Kurita was dead. But even more appalling is the creation and planting of the knife and button. And that act is what I was referring to when I said my client had broken the rules. This is a most unexpected turn of events. But the, 5th time now? However, it's putting it mildly. This time, everything has finally been revealed.
Objection!
Just a second, Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? We still have the cross-examination to do. But you don't need to question testimony like this. Do you, Mr. Wright? Your Honor, the defense will question the witness. As I have a choice, sir. Huh? Why? What this witness has said is nothing but beneficial to the defense's case. If you scrutinize the testimony, then I'll expose the lies in that oh-so-beneficial testimony, I suppose. I don't understand what's going on anymore. I mean, that's been you from day one. That makes 2 of us. About my client, part 2. Okay. As I have already stated quite a few times, Adrian Andrews is my client. However... What is it, Mr. Wright? If I press him the wrong way, it might raise suspicions on his end. But I have to do something to waste more time. Witness. About requesting a hit. Okay, so yeah, if we're buying time, we don't want to tip him off, so we've got to be careful, otherwise we might lose chunks in the top right and get our penalty, and we don't want that. So, about requesting a hit. Yes. How much is your fee? I see you are also quite a dark-hearted man, Mr. Attorney. Huh? If you would like to talk business, we can do so after the trial. No, I'm not thinking of hiring Mr. Wright. Yes? You want to kill me. You want me dead, don't you? What? Why would you think something like that, Your Honor? Guilty. Mr. Phoenix Wright, you are hereby declared guilty. Alright. Witness, let's continue. Why did you disclose the name of your client? They are your client, are they not? One thing I simply cannot overlook is tampering with the scene of the crime. We do know that happened, that is... Regardless of which way you go about this, it's very much like, no, that's true. My client did it to frame another for the crime. Yep. I mean, again, if we're saying client is Andrews, and Andrews did do it to frame another for the crime, so I have no issue with that, while pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene. Try to recall the sequence of events now. Yeah. Well, she wasn't she did go in, she did tamper with it, but she wasn't pretending to be the first person to discover the body, was she? She was the first person to discover the body. If the timeline of events is right. So you're saying most clients wouldn't do such a thing? That is correct. Usually, most people try to create an alibi for themselves. If you should use my services, Mr. Attorney, I would suggest you plan for your alibi too. No, I already told you I have no intention of using your services. Ever. Why does he keep looking at me like I'm the one on trial here? Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Yuan Kurita was dead. From your point of view, yes. But even more appalling is the creation and planting of the knife and the button. And what about the other pieces of evidence? Right? Because if we look at the... where is it? The crime photo. Because it's like, well, what about... Like, this is the thing, like, there's so many holes in this, actually, when you get down to it. It's like, with your idea of, like, yeah, she did this and stuff, like, she would have had to have done elaborate schemes here. Like, why would she do the whole thing with the guitar case? Why would she get the Nicholas Samurai costume? Why? There's so many little gaps here that just don't make sense. So maybe we're meant to present on this the guitar case? But even more appalling is the creation and planting of the knife and button. Let's press on it for now. So why do you think your client did that? What do you mean by why? Well, fiddling around at the scene of the crime is pretty risky. And why would someone who has requested a murder go to the crime scene anyway? That is true. I assume it was probably done to frame Mr. On Guard. If she was trying to frame him, then she would have done a better job than leaving her fingerprints all over the crime scene on the wine glass, right? If that's the case, then why didn't the person just request that you do it? Sadly, that is not possible. Huh? My job is to kill, that is all, and to leave my business card behind, naturally. The business card is so my clients may escape blame. To protect them is my duty. But if they say it's for revenge, setting someone else up to take your fall. That act is what I was referring to when I said my client had broken the rules. I feel like I want to go back to... Yeah, so it's like, but even more appalling is the creation and planting of the knife and button. Because it's like... Well, what's the best... it's that sort of thing. It's like, I feel like it's this whole idea of like... From his point of view, he's going through this idea of... She's trying to set up Matt. But why would she leave the fingerprints? But where's the best place to present this evidence? That's the thing. So it's like, well, let's go back to the beginning here. Is that it? As I've already stated a few times, Adrian Andrews is my client. However, one thing I simply cannot overlook is tampering with the scene of the crime. Yeah, the wine glass wouldn't fit there. My client did it to frame another for the crime. Okay. While pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene. Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Yuan Kurita was dead. But even more appalling is the creation and planting of the knife and button. The act is what I was referring to when I said my client had broken the rules. I do feel... I feel like the wine glass is the key. It's just when. When is the key here? Found next to the victim is filled with tomato juice. Bears Andrew's fingerprint. Because I remember. She said she poured the drink thinking he'd fainted. So then she put the wine glass down and left it there because she was in shock. Right? If I'm remembering it right. So I've got two thoughts in my head here that disprove this statement, which would therefore actually just require clarification. You know, that buys time still. That's still what we're trying to do here. So, if we're going the logic of either the fingerprints or the fact she was shocked. But even more appalling is the creation and planting of the knife and button. It's like, the wine glass sort of fits there, but it's like it would need some extrapolation and all that type of stuff, where it's like, Agent Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Yuan Kurita was dead. No, she poured the drink. Why would she pour the drink? What would be the point? And then she also left the fingerprints behind. See, it's that sort of thing. It's like, thinking back across Ace Attorney, it's just this sort of idea of, I need to lead to the point. So it's like, yeah, she poured herself a drink. Out of shock, she left it behind with her fingerprints on it. Because she didn't realize he was dead instantly. So she didn't know from the beginning because she was shocked. So you need to explain that. Oh, can I do down, up, and it takes me there? Oh. Thank you so much for taking the time to testify, Mr. De Killer. What is the meaning of that attitude? When Adrian Andrews entered the victim's room, your client had no idea that Yuan Kurita had been murdered. But how do you know that? From this wine glass, Your Honor. the glass. Mr. DeKiller's supposed client thought Mr. Kurita had only fainted, which is why the glass of tomato juice was poured for the victim. Isn't that just a part of Adrian Andrews' calculated plan? It's like, yeah. Again, there's that slight possibility. That is not possible, Your Honor. I mean, it is. The glass bears the fingerprints of that person. Ah, there we go. Thank you, Pheonix. Now we're on my kind of wavelength. Had this been planned, they would have never left their fingerprints behind. See, it was like, how do I get to that step using Ace Attorney logic? I need to go back a step to lead towards this. I see your point. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion? Strangely enough, I had the same exact thought just now. Witness, how do you explain this strange phenomenon? Isn't it a waste of time to ask about such a minor detail? It's not a very important point anyway, correct? I'm afraid you are mistaken. If Adrian Andrews really is your client as you claim, then your client should have had knowledge of Mr. Kurita's death. If not, then that can only mean that Adrian Andrews was never your client at all. I could drink. How strange. Yes? Why is it that the attorney has yet to raise an objection at this absurd situation? Pheonix, if the killer figures out what we're up to, we're in real trouble. Yeah, I know. Objection! Mr. Edgeworth, I'm surprised. You know you can't say things like that without any evidence. Ah, sorry. Well, that was awfully weak objection for the two of you. Anyway, I am positive there was a contradiction in that testimony. The prosecution requests further testimony concerning when the request is taken. Very well. Right now I have to buy us more time. While we wait for the items the killer left behind to get here. I just know that the very outcome of this trial lies with those items. Request taken. This request came to me, about a week ago. It was a request for my services on the night of the awards ceremony. We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. And that is what occurred. I trust my memory, and I believe I have made no mistakes. Wait, that was it? So you physically met your client, huh? That is correct. Meeting one's client is the first step to building trust, in my opinion. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Request taking. This request came to me, about a week ago. I can't see how there'd be an issue with that. Like, we can't prove it, we can't disprove it, we've got nothing there. It was a request for my services on the night of the awards ceremony. Okay. Met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. See, there, maybe pursuing the idea of, like, what bar? Who was there? Could we get them as a witness? That isn't what occurred. I trust my memory and I believe I have made no mistakes. Met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. That's the only one that's maybe out of all this. Because it's like, there's not enough details here. The request came to me about a week ago. It's like, okay, it came to you a week ago, and? Whereas requesting my services on the night of the award ceremony. It's like, yeah, that's a thing that happened. Like, we met at a certain bar. Like, here, it's like there's loads of questions that can be raised on this. Like, what bar? What matters did you discuss? Were there witnesses? Can you corroborate this? Is there like a VHS tape of recording of like a CCTV watching you there? There's stuff to pursue there, and that's just... I don't know how we question that, so, you know, met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. So you physically met Adrian Andrews, right? Of course I did. What was that? was that brief pause? Yeah, press further on that. Witness, I would like for you to give us a few more details. I always meet my clients as a matter of principle. I have never taken a request by telephone or mail. Why is that? That's because I value the trust between a client and myself above all else. And the only way to establish that is to speak to the client while looking them in the eye. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance? It's very important. Right? Of course, it was very important, Your Honor. Mr. Tequila had met his client before the murder, and it's unlikely he is mistaken. So you're saying that his client really was Adrian Andrews? I guess so. You see, it's just as I said. I'm so lost. Who the heck am I supposed to be helping here? Calm down, Phoenix. Think carefully and relax. Okay, let's go with the other option. Now then, would the witness please continue? Let's go back on that one. Because it clearly wants me to go with the other one there. Press further. Value the trust between a client and myself above all else. And the only way to establish that is to speak to the client while looking them in the eye. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance? It's like, no. Then, it's like, I was thinking no, because like, there was no details there, really, on what I wanted, but it's like, I assumed it was going to push me that way, but okay, so it was not important. Why he meets his clients is not important, and that wasn't the point. Witness, please stop sidestepping my questions. Oh, well then, yeah, thank you, Phoenix. This is like, thank you. What do you mean by that? My question was, did you really meet Adrian Andrews in person? I have already told you, Mr. Wright. I did. It was only through talking with him, face to face, that I began to trust him. That's when I thought, I can trust this person as a client. It's true what they say about talking face to face. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance? It was very important. I heard what I think I heard just now, and I think I've got him. Your Honor, I believe the testimony just now was of the utmost importance. Huh? Really? That's the case. Witness, please include the statement just now in your testimony. Very well. From the moment I saw him, I thought, I can trust this person as a client. But as we now know, that was not how it turned out, correct? What do you mean? Adrian Andrews turned out to be a client who couldn't stick to the rules, right? Well, yes. I suppose you are correct. So I would like to check one last time. Are you sure your testimony is accurate? Okay, so let's go back there, because it's like I thought they were gonna jump on the obvious there. So I'm assuming profiles. I would like to go over this one more time. You met Adrian Andrews at a bar and took the request at that time. Yes, that is correct. And that's when you thought he was trustworthy? How many times must I repeat myself? Yes, that is correct. I'm sorry, but that is an impossible tale. What? Shelley the Killer. You have never met the real Adrian Andrews. Why would you say that? Because you think Adrian Andrews is a guy. Because of the name. That's the entire reason she's named that. Is for this moment. Because you made one very big slip-up. About her. So what is the issue? I can hear like a shit. What did you just say now? About her? If you had ever met Adrian Andrews in person, one look would have told you that she is a woman. Oh my. There's bits everywhere. Order in the court. Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this? This witness testified to the following: that he always meets face to face with his clients when taking their request. But he has never met Adrian Andrews in person? Yes, Your Honor. That is exactly the point. That means Mr. DeKiller's client could not have been Miss Adrian Andrews. What the hell is going on now? There's oil everywhere. Mr. Edgeworth, I understand your logic on this one, I think. However, why would the assassin make such a basic mistake? What is going on? I believe it has to do with her name, Your Honor. Her name? Yes. Adrian Andrews is, without a doubt, a very androgynous name. Yes, I see. So it's like, yeah, it's like I wish I could go... Well, no, I don't wish I could go tell past me that was important, because that would have interfered with all my logic in the past and stuff like that. Just sort of like a knowing background thing in my head, knowing that Adrian is right as the name. That's the point, because it comes up later. Yeah. Unluckily for Mr. DeKiller, the entire time he was on the stand, no one had stated Adrian Andrews' gender. And so he simply picked the wrong gender to go with. What? What is going on? This is the wrong gender, yes. Shelley DeKiller? This court demands an explanation. I think somehow I must have mixed up this client with another. So does that mean you remember something different now? Yes, of course. Please, if you would allow me to testify once more. I mean, mate, you've dug yourself a massive hole here. I don't even know where you can go from here in order to achieve anything at this point. It's like, where? Where do you go from here? Ugh, I know he's just going to spit out more lies. Very well. But this time, please give us the truth and nothing but the truth.